Right, I think I'm live. So for anybody viewing, hello and welcome. I'm slightly early, I think by 30 seconds, but I'll try and get here before my actual time starts. I hope you're all having a good one. If you're watching us live or after the events happened, like I say, thanks for joining us. I've got a few things on my mind at the moment. I've got one big one of a watch that actually came to us today, which I was quite looking forward to a curiosity. However, when it came through the door and I actually looked at it, I was very, very much disappointed, quite heavily. I will get onto that in a couple of minutes, though, once me give it a couple of minutes for people to come on and actually start the timing. But as of that, yesterday we had a big, well, I say party, we had a social distancing party for VE Day, because obviously it's 75 years since Second World War stopped, so that was quite good. And over the moon with that. It was weird and surreal at the same time to have a street party where everybody was like 2 meters apart and in front of every house. It was quite good in the matter of fact, though. So it was all a lot of drink was drunk, but I woke up after it. Hi Peter, like I say, you're regular coming on, and Richard, hello there as well. There's a bit of discrepancy, I think, with actually how many viewers are actually on here to how many's actually on here, because it says I've got like 1 or 2, and I swear sometimes I've got 5. I don't think the actual updating on this is actually 100%. However, I'll start off with my big disappointment of the day, which is one of my recent purchases, which I got through today after going through customs. I got a letter through the Royal Mail saying you've got 30 quid to pay to your Her Majesty's thingamabob service because, they can't screw us over anymore. So they want more money out of me, another £33. But anyway, basically, I have gone and got myself a fashion watch. I swear I haven't drunk that much. I'm also not on the homebrew tonight because I watched my last video back from my live feed. My homebrew slightly stronger than I thought it was, and I was puddled by the end of that. So I've gone on a slightly less strong pale ale. My homebrew's only there for special occasions now. It's good stuff, mind. It is. It blows your head off. But so I've gone and got myself a Calvin Klein. Now, a lot of yous out there, I got a lot of grief I don't say a lot of grief, I got people advising us after I did my Swiss watch challenge saying you can get a brand new Swiss watch for under 150 quid, which you can. And I did. I got this. This is the Calvin Klein something or other. I'll tell you what the actual thing is. It's CKK, bloody, 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 blah. But I got it just out the fact of it's got a nice little ETA movement in a 2832, I think. However, I got it out of the box and it's still in the wrapping, as you can see, because I was actually doing an unboxing of this. It was one of the videos I was going to try and do today before I actually came on the live feed. However, when I actually turned it over to the case back, I noticed the rotor wasn't actually turning. It was stuck solid. And when you look closer, and I don't know if the camera's actually going to pick up this, but if you look just down there at the bottom, that there is a screw jamming the rotor, and up at the top there is a little movement retainer. So the actual one of the movement retainers has come out with the screw and is now sitting jamming the rotor up, and to be honest, is very precariously next to the balance spring, which I was not overly joyed with because I've waited quite a long time to do the review on this watch. And the review's only going to be 3 minutes long because I've literally got the initial unboxing of it and it is fucked. Sorry, pardon the French. It is not usable because I can't even put it on the wrist, because if one of those goes, the movement still works. However, if one of those screws slips, gets into a balance spring, I'm a goner. It was Jumma Shop, I think I got it from. It's an American shop. So I've emailed them back. They've been quite slow to respond, but I'll give them more than a day. But I am pretty knocked. But anyway, let's get to the comments because I've just rambled on for the last 3 minutes. Richard, hello, good to see you. Celine Driver, you're getting sick of me by now, no doubt. But yes, good morning to you, sir. Seen quite a few of your videos recently. Very good. And like I say, everybody, if you haven't seen Celine Driver's channel, go. It is quite good. He does quite good videos. There's one coming up on the 11th. Hint, hint. It will be a good one. Peter Stone, yep. Evening, Dale. Oh, wait, I'm really just talking amongst yourselves now. But no, like I say, it is good to have you. And like I say, do by all means chat amongst yourselves and also give me as much stick as you want. Because like I say, along with watches, I am just going to go with general chat. Because like I say, this week's been, I'm not going to say up and downs, it's just been very eventful. Like I say, we had the VE Day celebrations in the street. Social distancing party was great. I met a few of my neighbours I never knew, which is absolutely spot on. It's also the anniversary of my granddad's death on the 4th of May, which is a weird one because it's the Star Wars one, hence why it sticks in my head. So it's been, quite up and down, but I've reached Saturday and I feel quite up in perk. So yeah, but I am wholeheartedly kind of disappointed with this Calvin Klein. In all honesty, I might not have worn it. It does feel like quality. Give it the due. It does feel all right, and the bracelet is nicely done, and it is solid. It is thick, and to take into account this was 750 quid's worth of watch when they tried to sell it. However, watch people didn't buy because I had Calvin Klein on it, and Calvin Klein people didn't buy because it was 750 quid. Most of them can't afford a pair of boxer shorts. Seriously, I should really stop stereotyping. But there's quite a few people that I know who are not in jobs or anything. They just go around with all these brands on. You're sitting there thinking, how do you afford them? I don't find well how do you afford them, but here, home, my next door neighbour's the same. But the thing is, I paid £100 and I think it was £45 for this, plus the £33 in customs, which, to be honest, then took it over the 100. I'm a bit narked with that. I get seriously narked with the way the British government absolutely take everything off you at any point. Because like I say, every watch I've got off AliExpress, and I'm just going to put this up here, this Bordeaux is still working spot on, and it cost us £89. No tax was paid on this, and I don't know the way AliExpress do it, but every AliExpress item I have had through the door does not go through the same customs checks as the things that come through. Like, I'm not going to say legitimate means, because this came through with DHL. And even on the box, it had written what it was. So it wasn't even the fact of they were trying to kind of fake what the price was, which is beggars belief to me. But like I say, if it didn't have Calvin Klein on, it's actually quite a nice, simple, plain dial. I would wear that, and I might do. I don't know what Joe Shop's going to do. I don't know whether I would take a refund or I would swap it. But it's a right pain in the backside trying to send it over, and they're obviously going to have to reimburse me for the customs charges, and I'm going to get that back. So as soon as I get the refund watch, I'm going to get stung by that again. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. But at this moment in time, the Calvin Klein review video is 3 minutes long. I might just put it up to amuse you, because when I saw it, I literally on the video went, "Yeah, effing joking," and it was. It doesn't even have a screw down case back. I looked at the case back and goes, "Oh, it's just a pop case back." I do not like pop case backs. Absolutely despises. Let's have a look. Dear, autocorrect sucks. It does, especially when you're like me and you rely on it because you can't spell for jack. I can't spell. I'm very severely dyslexic, actually. But due to that, my mind's actually all over the place. But trying, especially when you can't spell stuff and you then get autocorrect correcting it in a way where you read it as that, because my mind just picks up the first last letters and just automatically puts the middle in, and yeah, it's right pain in the backside autocorrect. Yeah, one of the 11th will be a good one. She's already on the way to Singapore. So you've already got somebody else. You'll have to tell us where that's going next. Did you enjoy it? Sorry, this is going to be in between me and Sling Drive at this moment in time until that review comes up. But it is, I personally thought it was a very, very nice watch, and I've been talking to the owner of that watch again, the Sling Driver again, and everything's on track for the 11th, so I'm going to keep my eyes on that one. Have you ever owned an Orient? Do you know what? It's my biggest regret. I haven't. I want a Bambino, but I've never pulled the trigger. I also want what's it? The diver version, like the Seiko SKX equivalent, the Do one, which is slightly a bit upper class, and I want one of them. But there's something about Orient I don't want to pull the trigger on. I just do not know why. There's just something that sticks in me gullet with them. They're obviously part of Seiko group, the Seiko brand, but I don't know. I'll have to get myself one. And to be honest, if I'm going to get a dress watch, it's going to be, I would have a Bambino because it's nice, cheap, and it looks quite good. In-house movement as well, which is quite good for the price you can get them at. Let's have a look here. No, continue to the stereotype Calvin Klein buyers. Most of them are brand label drawers. They are, but the thing is, most of the people who wear Calvin Klein, they're short on the boxer shorts and they've got the trousers down around the blooming knees. For all the American people out there, that's pants. But pants to us is underwear. It gets confusing, but they go around showing the basically the arse, the Grand Canyon off, just to say Calvin Klein on the backside, and it's just like, why? If I did that, I would feel very uncomfortable. I just you just wouldn't want to see my Grand Canyon. I don't. This has got very deep very quickly. I don't like where this is going, but yes, it's good. The thing is, though, the specs of the watch are good with that ETA movement, and it's a solid case. The dial actually looks. The dial is very. Not. I'm not going to say plain. It is sophisticated, and I like that. And the bracelet is good. But like I say, when I got it out of the box and I just kind of looked at it and I thought, it's something simple. The screws, especially the retaining screws on movements, are very common. They do come out. I tend to put a tiny bit of Loctite on them just to keep them in, or even if you don't have Loctite, a tiniest bit of super glue just to keep them from working their way out. But the other thing is, I think it's Juma Shop who we got it from, or GOMA Shop. They say they check all these quality control wise. Well, unless it might have worked out during shipping, I don't know. But to have that wiggling around the case, I'm not even 100% sure it hasn't even worked itself into the hairspring. That's why I'm trying not to actually pick it up. But like I say, I shook it, and the screw that's in there, as you can see from the bottom there, that is the screw right there, and that's the actual movement retainer up at the top there, right next to the hairspring. And those are stuck in there, which is weird because the actual retainer itself doesn't look like it's jammed up against anything. But, I needed to take a punt. People were asking us to do it. It was cheap enough to get one at the time, so I went and bought one. But that's especially at this moment in time, buying watches and things, it is a bit uneasy at this moment because I'm still in a full-time job. I still get fully paid. I work from home. I'm able to do that as a design engineer. They've given us all the software to do said. But getting a throughput of watches, I'm just I've got enough content for the next, I think, 3 or 4 months maybe. But after that, I'm going to have to start thinking of other things. I've got a few companies actually have come to us to do reviews as well, which I'm waiting for them to get back to us with a few watches, which will be interesting. One of them will be very interesting actually, because I saw them, thought, I do kind of like it's another fashion brand per se, but it's a young fashion brand, but they're trying to kind of get it more into the watch people's kind of genre, and they were asking my opinion and stuff, and I give it to them, and I said, well, fashion watches, and I don't know what you all think out there, but in watch fraternities or groups and things like that, fashion brand watches are they're looked upon sometimes badly. Sometimes that might be wrong for us to do so, don't get me wrong, but they don't do themselves any favours. Like the majority of Calvin Klein are quartz, and don't get me wrong, the quartz movement, Japanese quartz, but you pay a lot of money, and they're just relying on people who look at it and go, that looks like a nice watch, Calvin Klein, right, I'm going to pay 250 quid for a quartz movement, which, to be honest, in a watch that I would normally see would be around about no more than 50. And it really gets to us, and the brand that I'm not going to name, where they put dials on and chronographs without any writing on them, and you're sitting there thinking, you're paying that much money when you could spend that much on a decent, well, not nowadays actually, because Seikos have gone through the roof. I've been looking at a couple of Seikos, and I will not pay the money for. I personally don't think I'm going to get another Seiko brand new, and I hate saying that because I'm a Seiko fanboy. I love them, but the way I was looking at a Frost Monster, I forgot what you call them now. It's an SBY something or other. It's 53, and they're only in Japan at the moment. Now I've got, and I've said this before, but I've got a Yellowfin, which is an absolutely lovely watch. It's a hefty beast. I've got it on a strap code Super Engineer 2. This watch here, exactly the same bar, the colour scheme and the dial, same movement, everything. This one cost me 280 quid with that strap on, the original, everything, box, everything. And that was, I think it was only 2 months old at the time. And they were now wanting from Japan made, don't get me wrong, this is Malaysia, but they're wanting 600 euros for it. And there's no performance wise, it's exactly the same as this, it's identical. The only thing that's different is it's got that lovely frosted dial, which I want. I wanted the Frost Monster, but I wasn't going to be paying 550 quid for one. But they're going for £1,000 now. I saw one the other day went for £1,000. they're not worth that. Well, they're worth as much as people are willing to pay for them, but you know, it's one of them things. Anyway, I'm going to get onto the comments because I've just totally railroaded that conversation. I got sidetracked very, very badly. Let's have a look. Where was I? It was taking the mick out of Calvin Klein's, wasn't it? Let's have. I shouldn't really do that. Liberal makes socialism for you. There's tax for everything. I'm surprised they haven't figured out how to tax sex or going to the loo yet. They will do. Trust us. Do you know what? The way the coronavirus stuff's going, there's a few things in the UK that are starting to get a very bit iffy, the way the government's playing things, to the point where it's an excuse to try things out control-wise, in my mind. And I'm not particularly liking that, such as, well, all the cars are off the road. It'd be good if we can get them off. It'd be good if we could all use bicycles. It'd be good if we can restrict public transport. Yeah, don't get me wrong, we need to do this, but I think the government, there's certain things going on in the background where they're trialling things, and I don't know what's happening. This Sunday, the UK government's going to release something to say they might be actually lowering the kind of lockdown a bit. I don't know whether it's a bit too soon. Do you know, if you're 200 feet off the ground, you cut your parachute off and say, I'm nearly there, I might break my ankles, but hey ho, you need to wait until you're kind of fully into the clear, but we shall see. I'm going to still be socially distancing like I am now. The only thing I'm going to go be different is I might drive my car a bit further. I might go for walks elsewhere where there's no people, but we'll see what everybody's kind of going to be going on at. Anyway, let's have a look. I've got the taxes. This Clusian asked me to send it back to him, so I did. He wasn't happy about the shipping cost, but I assume he's a man of his word and will pay me back. He is, to be honest, because I've talked to him in quite a bit, and like I say, I think he got a bit, and like I say, if any of you haven't seen it, I did a review of a prototype called the Frostbite, and Glution's this one. But he's a very nice guy, but he got a bit put out because he initially had his Kickstarter coming right on the period where the coronavirus kind of hit, and people, like I say, he had a lot of backers, but then people started to kind of take the batters away from him because they just weren't in the position to do so. So he put a lot of money in. He put a lot of effort into it, I should say. I don't know how much money he put in. I'm not a person to ask, but I think he felt a bit downtrodden, because I would as well. If you put that much effort into something, your first properly designed watch, and you didn't get it through, it is a bit kind of, yeah, it's not good. It isn't, but hopefully on the 11th he's going to re-release it, and we shall see what happens. Hello, Building Sheriff. Like I say, sorry, I'm going down the comments. I've went and blabbered on a lot here. I've just bought a 61 from Helm, 6105, good watch from Elba. The loom pip came off. They sent me a new. I was talking. I've got something for you, actually. I will send you a message. I do apologise. I've been run off my feet. After this video, I'm actually going to go and mod a watch, and it's I'm hoping around about 10, 10:15, I would have finished. I'm going to spend an hour modding somebody else's watch because I've got quite a few on at the moment. But I do have the thing for you for the loom ceramic black stuff. But I will get that quote to you for this replacement. And Helm Dollar have actually got back to us if you want just an original one. Yet again, another side thing. I'm going off. I did enjoy that piece very much, quality piece. It was, like I say, it had a few, like I say, for a prototype, it did have a few niggles, but Glution being what he was, he said, look, this is honestly the issues it's got. Just tell us, you know, that's how it is. It's going to be fixed in the prototype stage, but it's an absolutely phenomenal watch in my mind. Let's have a look there. Oh no, it's me update. It's just updated all the comments years ago and crazy. Like I say, talk amongst yourselves by all means. I am not against that. Mountain is a really good timekeeper. Need an Orient, like I say. Evening, gents. Mars, bits and bobs. Hello. Like I say, thanks for joining us. Like I say, if you do like this feed, please like the video. It does help me quite a lot. Thoughts on the Seiko Solar Tuner is a very nice watch. Yet again, the pricing of it out of an AD is a bit much for my taste. I do have Solars. I've got my G-Shocks and my Citizen Eco Drives. Those are the two I go for. I haven't actually had a Seiko Solar. I've had a Seiko Kinetic. I've still got one. I had one of the big Sun 043s. I think, you know, the big hefty ones. Didn't fit on my wrist too well, so I sold it. But the thing is with a kinetic, they're more temperamental than automatic, because once they run down, it takes that much to charge them up. I tried even charging on a blooming chargeable kind of toothbrush charger. It didn't work, so I sold it because I wasn't going to wear it that much, because I've got that many watches in rotation. Kinetic watches just don't work for me. But solar ones do, and I will have to get one. The tuner, the one with the wavy dial, looks quite good. I think they did a paddy version. That one does look very, very nice. Let's have a look here. And I did own an Orient watch, was nice, but I sold it quite a while ago. Like I say, I need to get one. I haven't held one, and I need to. They look very nice. I have a Bambino and a Mako. Mako, that's the one. Like I say, I've got a Mako. I've got a Zelos Mako. Those are very nice watches. I've got a V3, one of them. Just not plugging Zelos. Some people will know that I do highly like Zelos. I've got 4 of them now. Will be 5 quite soon once the new ones are released. What Loctite, the blue one, it's a very weak one. The blue one will do, because that's a weak one. Do not use the red one. The red one will lock it up and you will not be able to undo the screw. You have to actually apply heat to them to actually make the thread lock kind of get back to its liquid form. Do not use red unless you don't want to remove the actual movement back out of it. If you don't have Loctite, a tiniest dab of super glue, it's just enough to hold it in place, because there's no physical retainers. Because normally you would have like a split washer or a nylock nut, but with movements you just don't have that. So you need just a little bit of help to keep it in there and keep it working out, because metal on metal will work its way out if you don't have some kind of either tension in your bolt or some kind of chemical lock or mechanical lock to actually keep it in place. That's the engineer coming out inside us. Blue tight lock is advisable. It can be used, but do not use red. You've just said exactly the same as Celine. I'm way back on this conversation. You should run this video. Evening, Omar. Yes, Bill and Chevis. Let's have a look here. Richard. Cheers, Celine Driver. Yep. Yeah, trying new things by government is happening here too. Famous socialist. Yeah. Never let the crisis go to waste. Lots of politicians are taking that to heart. They are, like I say, it's the thing is, I think, especially in this day and age, with the way people are connected now, people are not so blind to things. And the problem is, it's through history, things that have happened and people have admitted to. And it's public knowledge that the governments did what they did. And people are sitting there going, no, they wouldn't do that again. It's bull. They've got that much technology and that much resource at their hands now. Why aren't they going to do it? That's the thing. There's a lot of things. If you read into it. And people call me like one of these conspiracy theorist people and stuff like that. In all honesty, I'm not. I just read stuff and take my own kind of conclusions out of it. But yeah, I'm just stockpiling watches. That's all I'm doing. If it comes to all doomsday and all that, I've got mechanical watches. They're not, well, the majority of them are mechanical. If some kind of something happens, I'm still going to be able to tell the time here. I am sure the Frostbite will successfully fund and go through. It's a really nice watch, deserves to be produced. I agree with that. It deserves to be produced. It is a unique watch. It is very, very nice. If you haven't seen that review, there's one on my channel. And like I say, Celine Driver got the same watch I actually sent to him after me to review. And it is very, very nice. It looks very Beatlish. That's the way I kind of described it. I've noticed the issues. Exclusion point now for me, it was a production quality piece, but you'll see the video soon. Yeah, I will. Like I say, I've got marked down here on the 11th. I will be watching that eagerly. I had a Seiko Arnie reissue. It was great build quality. Good build quality. I got an SS Shroud. It looks great. Yeah, again, it's another watch I want one, but I've never really had the thing for the like analog/digital. I don't know why. I just haven't. Sorry, I'm just taking a gulp of my beer. Like I say, a very low percentage this time, because by the end of the last one with my homebrew, I was off me nut. Not doing that again. What's the old bike in the background? That one is a Suzuki A100 from 1978. That one's actually a friend of my dad's who owned it, and I actually got it given to it when I was 17. I'm now 28, so I've had it for 11 years now. That's original as well. That's original paintwork, only kind of light restored to get mechanically going and stuff like that. That is an absolutely excellent bike. 100cc, and it's got 28,000 miles on it, and I put on 11,000 of them miles. A lovely little runner, but it is good. But anyway, It is a lovely little thing. I've see that's my lowest bike. So I've got 100cc. I have got a Suzuki Beacon in the shed, which is one of four of my bikes, which is like a 1340cc Hayabusa powered mental machine that's naked. It's absolutely hilarious. Which as soon as this lockdown gets lifted, I am going out there and I'm shooting over the moors and I am going to the Lake District because I need a ride out absolutely desperately. Because I'm sitting in the house and I'm buying watches and I shouldn't be. Because in all honesty, AliExpress, if none of you have gone on AliExpress, do not, because it is a minefield of stuff to buy. You just go along things, because the problem is, like, if you haven't seen this either, I did a review on the Bod Brie, or whatever you call it. It's got a weird name. The name is here nor there. The name is just the typical AliExpress name. However, the specs of this and the way this is running, the closest watches I've got in my collection to this are the Tudors that I've got upstairs. And 72 hours of power reserve, 28,800 beats per hour. And I paid £89 for it. They do a titanium version of this for £120. It beggars belief how they're actually able to do this. Well, I know where it is. It's China. I got a lot of grief, actually. I got somebody actually personally messaged me with a pile of grief about why I was doing watches, about how he'd come onto the channel because I was doing Seikos, I was doing all of this, that, and the other, and I liked it. And then you've all of a sudden gone to harnesses and things like that. But in all honesty, and I'm going to be open and honest with you, in the last month, I put 3 videos up over the harnesses and the Chinese watches. My views and my subscriptions have gone up. I think I am plus 338 more than I would get the last 28 days. It's screamed through the roof. And I think that's the issue, because I bought them just out of curiosity. But the thing is, because they're cheap and they do look that good and the quality's good, a lot of people buy them. But a lot of people have got gripe with them because they're Chinese and they think they're in sweatshops and stuff like that. However, if you've got an iPhone, for goodness sake, if you look at the factory where the iPhone's produced, there was a documentary a bit back, they've got suicide nets around the factory because they've got that many people trying to jump off because they're working that many hours. They're encouraged to sleep at the desks. And I know in the culture that's classed as being you're dedicated to your job. However, there's a point where there's dedication, there's a point where it's just blatant kind of you're utilising your people to the degree where it's getting on to pushing it a bit towards you. Yeah, I'm not going to even say any words because I'll get somebody going on at us. But it's you don't say because it's got a brand name doesn't mean it's come from where you think it's come from. It's like when the harnesses and stuff that I've got there, the movements are Seiko, and they come out of the Seiko factory, and I've checked them. The Submariner one, I've actually stripped the movement on that, and I can honestly say it is a direct copy of. Well, it's not. It is an NH36 out the same factory. That is a Seiko piece made under a Seiko banner. The rest of the watch, the case and stuff like that, will just be mass produced, and because it's mass produced that much, it is dirt cheap to buy. Because Seiko and other branded models have got basically a name that they can sell to, Rolex being the prime example. You buy a Rolex, the amount of stuff in a Rolex is nowhere near as much to put together as the name. Rolex did an amazing job with advertising, and that's where they've done it. They are an amazing advertising. They're getting the name out there and doing it. They are spot on with that. And to be honest, that's all the brand names are. At the dirt down bottom of it, it's something to tell the time. And there's a lot of stuff coming out of China that is very, very close. Like I say, that you can even get copy Rolex movements now out of China that even experts are getting quite hard to kind of look at both of them and go, that's the fake, that's not. And when it gets to that kind of standard, it is hard. Don't get me wrong. I like Rolex, and if I was going to get one, I would get a GMT2. I like the GMTs, but in all honesty, I think there's a lot more watches before I would get that one, which would stop me from getting that one because I would pay the money to get those ones. I wouldn't have the funds to do that anyway. But here, Ridge, I'll go back to the comments again. Sorry for that. Popping back soon. Like I say, you can come and go as much as you please in the next 45 minutes. I will be here. Let's have a look. No, to promote another YouTube channel, but we like watches. And there was a channel called Loomshot. This guy did a couple of Seiko mods. I've got Loomshot on my saves, actually. He does get quite a lot of watch from me, actually. the Blood Moon X-ray conversion and two-tone stealth mode, absolutely amazing. I love Grimmer watching it do something like that. Do you know I did a Seiko. This is the one of the two, well, three. There's a fourth one actually getting done over there. That's me latest sumo mod, which is obviously the meteorite dial. You can't actually. I might get a tiny bit of the glare in the light there, but I don't see. I don't know whether I'm a fan of the Seiko cases or not. I actually I did this for myself, and I'm actually under two ways if I'm going to sell it, because I haven't gelled with this watch. Not because it doesn't look amazing, because to be honest, I think if I put that dial in a different case, I would like it, maybe an SKX one. But it's just the thing. But yet again, I need, like, say, those mods. The majority of mods I got through are client mods, and they've got their precise kind of, we want this doing, and this doing. So there's a lot of mods I would like Golden Black Stealth mod. I would love to do. What other ones? SKX013 Stealth mod I would love to do. There's a lot of things I would do, but to do a even parts wise for a mod, it's ground up mod, so basically no base watch, I'd be looking at around about 200 quid, 250 quid just to get the parts. And that's a lot of kind of, initial money to put into something that I might not get the money back. Because like I say, mods at the end of the day are to whoever wants them. They're not a watch that people go, oh, everybody's got one, I want one of them. It's the fact of somebody needs to see and goes, I like that watch, it's a one-off. Because I don't think I've ever done more than 2 mods. So every one of my mods, which I think I've done, it's getting up to 100 mods now I've done on and off, because when I first started, I never documented them. I just did them and sent them out. I didn't even take pictures other than to show the client. But it's one of them things. I am debating whether to get a pile of parts, build them, and sell them as a production run. Maybe like 5 or 10, but that's a risk on me. If it goes off, it is good, but if it doesn't, I'm in quite bad territory with that, especially at this moment in time. But yeah, Loomshot is definitely a good channel. If you haven't actually subscribed, go around and have a look. He does some amazing kind of mods. And like I say, I need to do some more mod videos from scratch. When I get into modding, I kind of go silent. I do everything I get into myself, because it is an escape for me. So when I'm talking things, I don't take it as an offense, but when I'm talking through things, when I'm doing that, it kind of distracts from the thing I like about it, the quietness, the kind of like just thinking over things. I am very much like that. Let's have a look. Track day. I popped to the shops today one way back. A group of 8 bikers clearly on a ride out. 2 cars ahead of me with police. Do you know what? It is getting there was I think 2 got pulled over in Whitby on a 200-mile round trip for fish and chips, which it's beggars belief. There's 2 arguments to this, because like I say, it's like I've got an uncle up in he's 50 miles away up in Weardale, which is like a very nice moorland up from me, and he's got Parkinson's, and my dad's going up in the car and stuff, and I've actually sat there and thought, well, I could go up on the bike, dropping some stuff off, come back. And it's not even the fact of, I'm going out for the ride out. It's more the fact of I don't like using the petrol in the cars for my family, because I have to then transport them around. And like I say, the 3-litre Beamer I've got isn't that economical on country roads. The Beaking ironically is, and it's quick. But bikers, there's one argument with bikers is if you don't take your kit off, you technically, especially the way they're going on now, saying you have to be thinking you're totally covered. But when you're seeing pictures of them in certain biker things where there's piles of people or things and they're just acting like there's nothing there, I don't like that. If it's one person going out for A to B, get petrol, B to back, I don't see much of an issue with that. The only thing that gets me, and this is, I don't know in other countries if this is the thing, in the UK, they say obviously exercise. And I'm not skipping pedally bikers, do not get me wrong. However, I think a lot of them, some of them, the minority have took it on themselves to think, right, that means I can do a 120-mile cycle ride in my Lycra, all done up in a group of 8. Basically the same thing the motorbikers would do, but because they're on exercise, they get away with it. However, in my mind, they're not fully covered, they're not fully protected. they're more of a risk. But like I say, that's just my own kind of thing. Let's get back to the comments. Anyway, Sling Drive, sorry, had to take a call. Evidently, my younger daughter tried to ride a scooter at her mum's house for the first time and stuffed it. Do you know what? The first time I ever rid a bike, and this was no, the first time I ever rid a proper bike on the road when I was doing my training. I got on it. I went a select first, went into second because my foot got caught and it got up. So one down, five up, six up, whatever. And I stuffed it into tyres and got jammed. So I was literally jammed up like that, couldn't get up. The instructor did not like me after that. Ooh, how's the bike? How's that? And I'm sitting there going, not the fact I've hurt my leg. But yeah, you know. But the thing is, like I said, there's something about biking. If you haven't done it before, it's hard to explain. It's a freedom. It's weird. I've done it since I was 17 because it was cheaper than buying a car. So I got like a 125, then a 500. Still got the 125. Still got the 500, and then I've gone up to what I've got now. But there is just something about it. And like I say, for all four of my bikes, it's actually cheaper to tax, insure, and like ride them than it is owning just my BMW 3 Series. It's outrageous how much it costs for the cars compared to a motorbike. And it's just, I kind of take it off, well, I can have this many motorbikes and have a bit of a pick and then kind of go out in the car. And my car, like I say, is just from A to B, but I like having, like I say, my car, the 330D. It's the biggest diesel I could get at the time because I had a bit of go. But it was just something that I could go backwards and forwards to work. But if I wanted to, I could put my foot down. I could still have a bit of enjoyment out of it. And it is quite fun, kind of, because it's also an estate car. So it's not like it doesn't look like it is the sport version, but it doesn't look like, on the face of it, it doesn't look like it could go fast. But, oh, God, it's like poo off a shovel. Brembo brakes all around and everything. I've got it up to the hilt underneath. It's a right sleeper. But yeah, I'll get back off cars anyway. Let's have a look here. Jesus. Hey, maybe pre-order some. You can secure the seals. With them, I might have jumped something here. Which just remember what we're pre-ordering, because like I say, I'm going between this and the conversation, so I'll have to blood moon. Well, pre-order got you. No, on the part yet. I'll have to think of it. Like I say, I've got and I've got the money there, but I just don't know whether I want to risk it or not doing it. And like I say, I will not get an instant return. The other thing is we're trying to look for a house at the moment, and money coming out the bank really affects mortgages. So you have to be very careful on how much money you've got in at the end of the month to, like, if you have affordability, them and scales on mortgages. It's right faff. Share to park car. Here in the States, we're opening things up. State of Florida, where I am, have opened up beaches and parks, theme parks around Orlando. Pen open here on the 11th. Like I say, I think we're going for the 11th. I think it's Monday. I think Sunday they're going to say what's going to happen. Then on the 11th, it is going to happen. We're just going to have to see. And there is reports China are having a second spike. I don't know how true that is because it's not been widely reported. It's more understated internet, but we shall see. I digress. But anyway, one other topic I wanted to speak about, and I think I touched on it before, is Chinese watches. Like I say, I got some, and I think I partly said this about the guy who personally messaged me, and I've got actually, to be honest, I'll get it up here, and I'll just read it through. There we go. And basically, this came in after my 5-watch collection video from AliExpress. So it was just me saying, look, if you've got not a lot of money and want more than one watch, you can spend it on this many watches, which are good quality. And he came back, hello, GWM, which obviously going with watch one. Hello, liked your videos, have been a subscriber for quite a while. Particularly like your Seiko videos and your modern videos, and I think you should keep running with these. However, when did you start looking into Chinese crap? This is this word for word. I don't know why you're willing to support a regime where they basically put people in slavery, and basically there's a lot of expletives used, but he basically goes on a bit saying about how people are basically whipped. He does use whipped in some of it, to an inch of their lives to basically make cheap products for the more economically developed countries. And these Chinese watches were just supporting that now as basically a murderer. and by the end of it, he does say murderer halfway through. And like I say, it's just, he might be a guy that, you know, it's one of these trolls. But it's weird how passionate they get about him. Because like I say, if you think about a lot of the goods used by, or people buy, not used, but people in general, that are branded, that are made in places where you have people who are working on pence and basically are treated very, very badly. However, because it's got a brand name and because they're well known, they can't be doing that. And it's well documented around the world. It's just, I don't know, but yeah, you see, it's like he's going on as like that. I'm not going to stop reviewing watches. If people ask us to review Chinese watches, and I like the look of the watch, and somebody hasn't given it to us, I'll go out and buy it. I'll wear it, and I'll say my honest opinion. And to be honest, the majority of them I've got, other than the Fingine, which broke within a week because it was a tenner, they've been very, very good, reliable watches that I do not mind banging about because they're that cheap. But like I say, let's get back to, because like I say, please fill the comments up, and also like I say, if you do like this live stream, please like, and if there's anybody out that doesn't have anything to share or doesn't have anything to do, please just send them a link and say, look, this guy's weird enough as nuts, you might want to watch him. Like watchers, watch Grimwood. Lots of protests all over America against lockdown, debating on the state, and protests are being headed or no. There's see, the protest movement in the UK for lockdown isn't that big. There was a bit of one down in Parliament Square a couple of weeks, but actually no, it was last week actually. So about it, but I don't know. Like I say, I take things the way I see them, not other people. So I kind of take what I think, which to be honest is not normally what everybody else thinks. There might be a virus out there, but that's all I'm going with. There's a lot of stuff in the media's just absolutely, yeah, here it's big. Trust me, I've seen it. There was a video I saw of people going around in armoured cars, bloody protesting it, saying, you know, protect our freedom and all like this, that, and the other. But I don't know. Is it Darwin's law? it's a bit like that. There's a thing about freedom, and to be honest, in the UK, what they did was they said, look, this is happening. Be sensible about it. And if you're sensible, we won't lock you down. And that's what they said. The government said this plainly. No one weren't going to listen. Well, I did. That's a bugger. So the majority of people did. It was the minority that buggered it when they were sitting in parks and all that. And then the government just went, right, well, it's like lost child. It's like a bad child, you know, you shall do this. And then, well, we'll let you off. You do this, we won't punish you. Then you go and do it and you get locked in your room for 2 weeks. And that's what basically has happened to us. We got given the chance and people didn't listen. And then we got grounded for 1.5, 3 months, 1.5, 2 months. And now it's kind of like, right, well, you just behave, you know, we'll let you off a bit, there you go, social distance, all that, and guarantee within 2 weeks, when there's a spike again, we'll get put in lockdown again. And it will not be the fact of we were able to keep it down because, you know, oh, we've let out, it's the government's fault. It's not, it's just people's arrogance because they literally go, oh, I'm not ill, I'll go and share it with 10 other people. Like I say, it is just... It frustrates us. Like I say, getting us onto topics where I just rant about. Come on, man. I like it, but hey ho. Here it's big time. I was one of those parades of car protests. Great fun. Used the sling and burnt lots of premium at expense, my friend. Let us get back to work. Well, see, this is the thing. I'm grateful because I'm still working. I'm still full-time job. I'm still doing what I did before. Just in my conservatory. This computer is my CAD computer. The reason I use it is because it's got a bloody great camera, and because it's that powerful, it actually does stream video quite well. But I am able to do it because of the job I'm doing. But if you're a physical labour job, like say my company's just letting people back into the workshops this week, we've actually been offered if we can go back to the office, but the actual service team on my side have said, no, we're more than happy to work from home, just to protect us, other people and our families. But there's a lot of people out there that don't have that kind of, they're not able to do that, especially self-employed and contractors who have been royally kind of fucked over, put it politely, and are in a very, very hard time. Especially a lot of contractors where they were pretending they were on minimum wage and then getting the dividends at the end of the year. And the government knew this, so they just says, right, you will get your full pay. What did you say you earned? And they just went, oh, no. And then they got the full, because they couldn't declare the dividends as part of their wage, they're now on minimum wage, which has well and truly screwed them over. And I know a lot of people that do contract work in the same line that I do. And one reason, even though it's very lucrative, because trust me, if I was a contractor, I could get top dollar. And I mean literally like double my wage now. And I'm not on bad wage now. But the risk of, if something like this happens, like it has, you risk your mortgage, you risk your family and all that. And I just, being in a permanent job as staff, you know what you're getting, and you know your rights. As a contractor, being self-employed, you take risks. Those risks are big, though, as in you do get big comebacks from them. But it's not a risk I want to take. Maybe when I'm older and the kids are gone, I might go into it and I've got enough money to fall back on. But at this moment in time, it's not a risk I want to take. There again, another rambling post there. See, all the shops and private business have in place safeguards. Nobody mandated it, was done on their own. People can use common sense and give them the chance. It can. The problem is with the majority of British people nowadays. It might be the world, actually. I'm not going to. I'm British, so I can say it, but I'm not going to actually kind of single us out. But people think they know best for themselves, and the reason why the government's done what they've done is because we bloody don't. People just sit there and blatantly ignore it. And it absolutely fits me. Next door neighbour, who, to be honest, the other night I got very close to having very serious words with him. He had multiple people over, and this, like you say, there's a guy upstairs who uses the same gate, and the coughing back and doing drugs. He's well known for it, and I'm sitting there thinking, we're sitting there socially distanced, and even the party we had was socially distanced. And then he's sitting around with a flat of 6 people kicking off and all that, and you're sitting there thinking, the police even came around. And the police, because they don't have the right to enter the property, stood on the outside. He says, I don't have people over there. The police went, okay, even though it smelt of weed, and then nicked off. And then 10 minutes later, the 6 people just start the music back up. It is beggars belief. If they just went around to the front window and peered in, but they can't even do that nowadays because it's in violation of your personal rights. However, if I do something, like say somebody tried to knock us off my bike a few years back, they tried to do me for not having insurance, even though I did. I showed it to them. As soon as I did that, they nicked off. And I says, well, what are you going to do? Nick him. Oh, no, it's your word against his. But 2 minutes ago, when you thought I was in the, even though I rang the police, which I said to him, I says, well, if my bike was illegal, would I have rang you? It doesn't make sense. Well, you could have been this, that, and the other. Says, no, at this point, I have 3 broken ribs, a heavily bruised face and stuff. I managed to keep the bike up, but the car hit me side. And it's I don't know. It's sometimes it just seems favoured towards the people that it shouldn't be favoured towards. They know all the loopholes, and I don't wish bad on anybody. But sometimes you get to the point where you're just sitting there thinking, I'm jumping through this many hoops, and then one person is going to risk it that lives next door to us, my family, and I just can't take that. And like I say, I was last night was the closest I've come to actually violating the social distancing, and that's all I'm going to say. And I don't normally say, I'm not going to say I'm not a angry bloke, because I do get angry and passionate over what I feel passionate about. But yeah, it's just frustrating at the end of the day. Let's have a look here. So upset. Oh, plenty of dummies here to be sure. But you know, my neighbours have great together in their houses. They're breaking out chairs and sitting in front of their houses. Still being neighbours. Well, that's like I say. That's what we did. We had VE celebrations for the 75th anniversary of the Second World War. Well, literally, there was a table. Somebody set it out like a street party. So the tables were in the centre of the street, and they had pretend food on it, but we all had our own food. So it felt very much like a street party. But yeah, and you could talk to them. And like I say, we did have like a walkway around the street. So if you wanted to move around to talk somebody closer to them, 2 meters still, you still could. And we had a great time, and we didn't violate anything. And you know, it was, to be honest, and ironically, this is the other thing, in this lockdown, I feel closer to the majority of my neighbours because we all did that just under, like, you know, oneness. We all felt down. We thought, right, we're going to make an excuse, but we're going to do it by the rules. And then some people just totally bugger it up and do it for the hell of it. And like I say, the amount of things he's been let away with, like I say, it's there's something off, cop a knock and all that sort of thing, but I'm not going to say anymore. Let's have a look. Like you, I'm lucky. I'm a contractor, pre-lockdown, 2-3 days working from home. Now 100% working from home, saving travel costs. Contract expires in August. Fingers crossed for renewal. Well, to be honest, you've been lucky there. I know my workplace, and like I say, I work for a subsea engineering company, and we make a lot of vehicles for subsea trenching, ROVs and stuff like that. But the day when it actually got like slightly kind of risky and we knew we were heading towards it, the company let all the contractors go. And I work in service, and my manager is absolutely spot on. He's a very one-to-one person. He works with you. He doesn't work over you. And we had one contractor in our department, and he literally pulled them over to the side and says, "Look, I am sorry, this is happening." And he even said, "Look, I will pay you for the rest of the week, even though you're not working." Actually, the contractor, who we know he was a drafty, he even said, "No, I haven't worked. You do not owe us that." And that's what you need. However, the rest of the company got a generic email around for the contractors saying, basically, "Look, we're sacking you off, and please ring us back when it's all over. We'll see if we've got a job for you." And it's like, these people have took you out of the poo quite a lot of the times because we don't have enough experience in some departments, especially mine. Being a hydraulic engineer, there's not many hydraulic engineers about these days. For some reason, I'm the youngest one, to be honest, I know. And actually, hydraulics is the one place where they've kept the two contractors on. But like I say, a lot of companies I do not trust as far as I can throw them because they're out for themselves. However, a good boss is few and far between. The boss I've got is absolutely superb. And like I say, you can say anything towards him. But anyway, I'm going to take another sip of beer because look, this was slightly full and it's now only slightly less full. Like I say, I'm not on my own brew because, like I say, if you want something to laugh at, go back to my last live stream because you'll see us degradate as I go through the video. And I watched it and thought, what the? It was not the worst live stream. It was the most surreal because I got that not drunk, but my homebrew's just it's not it's a weird drunk. It's psychedelic. But anyway, back to watches. Like I say, after this video, I'm going to go and complete a mod. Which is for somebody with an SKX, which I'm doing. GMT bezel, it's very controversial because a lot of people like the GMT bezels on SKXs, even though they don't have a GMT function, so they don't really, it's a pointless bezel to put on it, but they do look good, and I guarantee as soon as I do it, apologies for that, as soon as I do it and I put the pictures up on modern forums, I'll get a lot of grief for it, but it looks good. He's got a lovely ceramic, actually no, it's an aluminium bezel. And sometimes I actually like aluminium bezels over ceramic because they've got a bit of warmth to them. Ceramic, it sounds a bit kind of contrary. Ceramics are cold, the clinical, it's that type of thing. But aluminium's got a bit of warmth, but they do scratch to hell. So it's you take one, you lose one. But anyway, it was funny to watch as you were off your nut at the end. It was, like I say, I don't normally watch my live reviews back because I normally remember quite a lot what I said. But I woke up the next morning and I thought, I can't remember the last half of that. And I don't normally do this when I'm drinking. I remember everything, but my home brew is weird. There's something in it, and it's not the alcohol. There's something in it which makes my head just go doolally. And I'm not going to do another live stream with my homebrew, even though it was like 50p a pint, and it is absolutely lovely. Don't get me wrong. It did say it was 5% when I measured the gravity of it, but the problem is I second ferment in the bottle. So basically, I put more sugar in the bottle, and then stick it away for a month. And then I kind of get the one bottle at a time and put it in the fridge, cool it down. But the problem is, it's fermented a second time. It's got more alcohol in it. In all honesty, I think it's going to be over 6%, 7%. It does taste strong. So yeah, you're not saying that this is a 4%. This is a good American pale ale. Very, very nice. I just got my batch of pale ales in today, so 24 cans to get through of different breweries around the world / country. That one's a very nice one. I should really have the glass to show, or the bottle to show you, but it is very nice. But anyway, I digress. I am going to get back onto watches, which is what my channel is about. But like I say, when I get talking to decent people like yourselves and you put some good comments in the chat, I will go off on random topics. Like I say, like me motor vehicles, like me motorbikes. Politics just don't get me into because I will ramble for days. And watches, what else am I going to talk about? It's absolutely spot on. But like I say, the Calvin Klein has really peed me off today because I was really hoping to get that on the wrist. And I don't want to say it, but I quite like it. the look of it when I got out of the box, it's got heft to it. It is simple. It's a dress watch I would wear. I don't know. I'm still debating whether I should, if I get a replacement. In all honesty, I could fix that. It's not a hard fix. I pop the back off, put the screw and the retainer back in. Job's a good one, but I then void the warranty. Would they know? With that case back, no doubt they will, because I can guarantee trying to pop that case back off, I will mark it. Because that's why I don't like pop off case. I like screw downs because it's all down, it's all that. Pop case backs, I just don't know. It's absolutely shocking. But I'll see. If I don't know whether if the offer is a refund or not, to take the refund and go for something else, or to look for get another one. Problem is, I think they sold out of that model, so I don't even know if they'll offer us that. If they just say, look, it's not going to cost you, it's not going to be worth sending it back and have it for free. Nah, I'm not gonna turn that down. I don't think it will. It's just gonna be right faff, especially in isolation, because I try not to actually mail stuff out. I mail stuff out in batches. I do it on every bi-weekly. So every once I literally get all my mods together, any watches I need to send, and I literally do a bulk send to the post office, and I buy everything online. They just scan it out the window and I chuck it in the box. But I don't like to go out, especially with my family. So if they do come back saying I want it back within this time frame, I'm just gonna go, look, you off your rocker. But anyway, let's have a look there. I need an unlisted phone number. What I miss? I need one of them. God, if I had an unlisted phone number. Actually, no, you just put something in front of it, don't you, to come unlisted. On your mobiles, I've got what it is now. Where am I, Zelos? Big surprise. ZX8 SO1 Blackbird. Zelos are going to be the death of me this year, because like I say, they released the Horizon 2. Actually, to be honest, I said I was going to get the Horizon 2. I said, look, I'm going to get it, but to be honest, Lane Driver, I think you said this a bit ago in another live feed when I said it. It looks too similar to the original. It does. It's a bit more classic. It's got a top hat, a very high domed crystal. It's a bit thinner, a bit more refined, I want to say, but it's too close. It's going to be like, why pay that much money for basically a 75% of the same watch I've already got? Which, to be honest, I've got 6 Seiko Monsters, so it's not really an excuse I can use. But but the thing is, there's other ones, like I wouldn't mind the titanium swordfish. There's going on about titanium swordfish. That sounds good, even though I don't like titanium watches because they're too light. I just think, there's also I think there's a Damascus swordfish, or there's the other one, the multicolored layered metal one. However, that's going to be far too much money, I can guarantee it. But I really want one of those cases, so it's going to be the case of I'll see and wait to see what the price is. I might pull the trigger on one, I don't know. But the problem is, it's risky, because there's some watches right at the start that I want, but I only really can afford one Zelos this year, and it's really, 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 really hard to decide which one I want. And after getting my, I'm just going to show you if you haven't seen it, and I've got this lovely strap as well. I'm going to show you the actual supplier of this strap. That's my Swordfish Bronze. So that's my Zelos Swordfish Bronze with the blue meteorite dial. And I've literally, for the last 5 days, I've had this on the wrist, full stop. It's stopped now because I've actually been wearing this today, and actually that's the, no, it hasn't stopped. Sorry to say, it is out of time, but yeah, it's just such an amazing watch to wear. It's so comfortable. But I've actually got it on a French weave, like my Tudor strap. And I found a guy who actually does them, called George Strap. So I'll just hold up the little card there with it on. I haven't even talked to the guy. However, each one of these straps costs a tenner. It's an NATO. Lovely, thick, decent quality. However, if you bought 3, you got 30% off. So I got 3 of these kind of NATO French style straps for 21 quid, which you just can't go wrong with. And put it this way, I've bought straps more expensive than these by quite a way. I've bought 21 quid straps for one strap, and they've been a lot worse than this. And I've got another 2 in the bag. I had this one, which is basically blue and black weave. I've got this colour with a red stripe, and the same colour with like a like a creamy stripe. And I just bought them thinking I'll find a watch to put it on. I was going to put the red stripe on this one for the little red fleck on the second hand and the automatic, but it's good straps. George straps, have a look. They are very good. What I miss? I don't think you missed too much, just me rambling on like always. Zelos, or Mr. Zelos will come in because he's got 19. He's answered my question. I was going to ask how many he's got. And I have another Project Zelos coming in a few weeks. Big surprise. Death of You, I know I'm buying 4 Zeloses at least this. See, I want to buy 4, and I've got the money to buy 4. That's the ironic thing, but at this moment in time, I don't want to spend money in case something happens. I'm debating. This is how much I want to get more than one Zelos. I'm debating whether to sell a couple of them. Some of the ones I don't wear too much. And that's going to be the one that I might. And this is the thing I've got, and I love this watch. But in all honesty, I don't wear it this much. And it was a trade for a Franklin Monster. Is my Save the Ocean Turtle, and I might. And this is brand. I've worn this twice, and it's basically brand new. The guy that actually got it had the stickers on. It might actually still got the back sticker on actually, and he traded this for a Franklin Monster, and I thought that's a great deal actually. And I might get 300 quid for it. I don't know, 250, 300 quid. That's a fair way to get in a Zelos. And in all honesty, I'll wear the Zelos more. And I'm starting to like more than Seiko. I'm starting to like my micro brands because there's a lot of pound for your buck, and they actually take care of you. Every micro brand owner I've spoke to has the time for you. Like Elshin at Zelos, you can drop him an email, no matter who you are, you'll get back to you, and you can have a conversation with him. He's down to earth. Like say Glushin, who I was on with this Frostbite, he seemed a very down to earth guy. I've got like 50 emails, just even general chat. And there's another one as well, I've forgotten his name. Sorry, I will remember it. Too much beer. But I sat with him literally one night talking over chat with him about designer watches, and he was going on about, it was the Pearl Diver watch actually, about things which he was planning on doing, and me agreeing. And just, to be honest, it feels good that I'm in the design process. This is the scary thing. The other thing that I'm debating and doing, and this sounds bad, but I've actually got full 3D CAD software on this. I've got Inventor. I've got this one. I've also got a personal copy next door. And I'm actually debating seriously to see, messing around with 3D designs of watches just to see what I get. Just like an NH36 and see, base it around that and see if I can actually do something. I won't be able to produce it, obviously. It'll be far too much. But just to see what ideas I've got around those heads. And it won't take as long to model. I'm quite good at Inventor, actually. And I can CAD stuff up quite quickly. I've even debated whether to offer me services. Just say, look, is there any people out there that, micro brands that need a drafty to draft up your designs? I'll be more than happy to do that. I want to be involved in something like that. Sorry, my hay fever's going absolutely up at the moment because of the grass and rapeseed pollen out. So if I do have like a sneezing fit or you hear weird noises, it's because the hay fever's attacking me. Oh, let's have a look here. And I'm sitting at 19 now. I read that. Oh, sorry, like I say, hay fever's terrible. Damascus, that's the one, swordfish. One of those is already mine. I want one, but I don't know. I'm sorry to be intrusive and you don't have to answer this, Celine Driver, but what did you, around about within £200 or dollars, how much did you pay for it? So I know what I'm looking at. Because, like I say, I can guarantee I'll wait for it and I'll see the price and go, oh no, I can't do that. If the missus sees us, she'll kill us. And what would I wear with it? God, if you see the Damascus Zeloses, they look absolutely spot on. But the cases are really in your face. They're really out there, but they look spectacular. I wouldn't mind a Damascus case with a blue meteorite dial. That would be, I think he did that actually. I'm sure there's a Zelos that is that combo. I would have that in a drop of a heartbeat. Have not paid for it yet. Elshin has just said he'll get one for sure. Oh, man. Do I say, to be honest, I haven't actually, and I asked Elshin for one of the watches I've got. I did that, and he says, he said the price is going to be about $1,500 US. Yeah, that's around 1,200 quid. See this thing when I say one Zelos, is it one swordfish Damascus, or is it one cheaper swordfish? Because I think he's The other swordfish, oh, I wasn't that bad off 1,200 quid. Come on, give us that for quick workout sling driver. I'm great, even half cut. I can work out basic. Well, to be honest, the exchange rates are that going up and down at this moment in time. I don't know where they are. See modern stuff as well. I used to deal in Singaporean dollar, which is actually to the UK pound until a few years back was actually extremely cheap. And now it's actually not so. So my modern costs have actually gone up a bit because the exchange rate is absolutely poor. But yeah, it's 1,200 quid. What could I do with 1,200 quid? What watches could I sell to get 1,200 quid? I could get it. That's the thing. I could. Would I wait more than that one? I would. Does the Damascus ones come with the ETA? Sorry, I'm going to have a totally one-sided conversation here. Do they come with the ETA? Or was the option with the NH35? I'm guessing that price is with the ETA, which is a very good movement. And I've got, actually, to be honest with you, Horizons is a ETA 2892 in there. I'm going quiet now because Sling Drive, you've done it to us now. You can buy a Zelos Damascus Swordfish for 1,200 quid. Thing is, it's 1,200 quid until the government decide to bend us over a bloody bar stool and give us a good rogering with the bloody import taxes. You know, I didn't ask him what the movement was. I'm going to say if it's Damascus, you're going to be using quite a high-end movement. It'll be an ETA. I'm going to say it's going to be an ETA. That's what I want to say anyway. But that swordfish, like I say, this swordfish here is one of the best wearing watches I've had in a long while. And I know I've got it on an 8 so you've got a bit of gap between your wrist, but it is one of the, it's actually, to be honest, I'll put it out there, it's one of the best wearing watches on an 8 strap. And the reason I've got it on this and not a Zelos strap is because I got this in the sale, and I paid 300 quid for this. A meteorite dial bronze NH35 movement, 300 quid. Seiko wise, I would have half a sumo. And they're not worth it. They're not. God, actually, to be honest, the 4R36 movement or the 6R35 movements are quite good, 70-hour power reserve. But I'm not paying that much for a Seiko at this moment in time. Just think of the good old days. This is back when you had SKXs that were 150 quid. You had Monsters that were 150 quid. This was like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. You could pick a decent SKX up, 200-meter diver for under 200 quid, brand new. Now, to try and get your hands on an SKX, the guy that I'm modding for now, he's got a brand new, old stock SKX 009. He paid £300 for it. And to be honest, give him his due, and I've said this to him, so he's more than happy me saying this. I said, but why? Especially when you're modding it. Because if you're modding it, there's a lot of those parts I'm taking off to replace. So in my mind, you can get a decent second-hand Seiko SKX, mod it, not brand new. And I polish the cases as well. So I polish it and kind of rebrush it slightly. It's a bit labour intensive, but I tend to do a job white. White? Oh, God. It's got to that point where I can't pronounce my R's. White. Right. I like to do a job right. So, yeah, it's the prices are just if I knew this back, I would have got a few SKXs and just sold them now. I would have been like maybe 200 quid in profit. The biggest profit I've made on a watch is the just little side note was and there's a review on my web channel as well, is the Seiko Ninja Turtle, which is the blackout turtle with the red dial and the vintage kind of patina on the loom. And I bought that at a local shop for 350 quid. That was with a discount. I think it was 420, and he gave us a discount. And I literally went home, put it on once, and I thought, it's not for me. I'm too scared of scratching the black coating. And I put it up on eBay. Just I literally put it up and I thought, right, I'll just put it up for what I bought it for. You know, nothing gained, nothing lost. And somebody in Brazil paid 750 quid for it. And literally, I was sitting there I think I got back after the first day, and somebody put a 500 quid bid on. I was like, yeah, what? I was like, I'm in the money, and my wife's behind us. I've just made this much, and she's going, I won't say that, will I? You know the way they are. And my wife's a good one. She actually puts up with a hell of a lot with me, especially how many watches I've got, and she's sitting there going, I'm not even going to question it. That's the wife you want, and she lets us have bikes. She rides a bike. Oh, I love my wife. But yeah, it's just the beggar's belief that the people are willing to pay 750 quid for an NH36 watch, which was a turtle, which, again, exactly the same as this. This is obviously the Save the Ocean turtle. And these go for 350 quid. The only difference is the design, and this is what doesn't get me. Don't get me wrong, it was a limited edition. Was it limited edition or special? Can't remember, but we didn't know what the run number was, and I think that was part of the reason why it went crazy, because somebody somewhere put up that there was only like in the UK 500 models had been brought in. The reason why my jeweler still had it in was because the town I'm in, Chesley Street, there isn't a big watch kind of following, so they get these lovely watches and they sit in the window for years. And I kept going past it for months, thinking, I'll just go in and try it on. I'll just go and try it on. And then that one day I went in, I just thought, bugger it, I'm going to get it. And it kind of paid off. And ever since, I've been looking in the window to see if there was any special models in there. Because, like I say, he gives us quite a big discount just to get things out the door. And yeah, there was a win-win with that one, so I'm just trying to put it into my case, which there is a video coming up of that case as well. I know a lot of you requested it when I put it up, so me 56 watch flight case will be coming up soon. Done a lot of the video, and I think I've got 2 more kind of scenes to do, just covering a few bits, but that will be coming up in the next, well, it'll be coming up in May, put it that way. But yeah, let's have a look. Celine Driver. Oh, you're getting more information back to us. You know what? Don't care what movement it is. The ET would be grand, but if it's an NH35, it's fine with me. Well, do you know what? Thing is with the NH35, they're dirt cheap to replace. It's literally, I can buy an NH35, which basically I can replace. I'm not going to put my labour costs in here. For the same price it cost me to take a watch down to the jeweler and get a battery in it. That's literally, and like I say, around here, it's around about, you could be paying up to 30 quid to get it. And this is also including the pressure test as well to see it's watertight. And I do that with my watches anyway, because I've got the test equipment on my back table there. But the thing is, if I buy an ETA, if I need replacing, it's around about 100. Well, actually, no. I think to get a basic standard 2032, it's 160 quid without anything else. Or you could buy a Calvin Klein, because then you've got that movement in it and you get the rest of the watch, and you can just basically use the watch for parts, unless the watch is already dismantling itself because the movement has already unscrewed itself out the movement holder. Can you tell I'm really peed off with this watch? I want the problem is when it came through, and I shouldn't jerk it around this much because I'm going to dislodge that screw. I can see it, but if I do, it's coming back. But I like it. I like to say I feel dirty saying it, and I'm going to rinse my mouth out with bleach at the end of this. That Calvin Klein doesn't look half bad, and it doesn't feel half bad, and it's Swiss made. However, I do think my little kind of Swiss Army watch that I got, this one here, which, like I say, I spent a lot of time, well, not a lot of time actually, I put a bit of effort in fixing it up. You know, I do like this one. Swiss made, 2892 movement in. That's spot on. But, you know, at the end of the day, you could get something like, if you're going to get a watch, and I'm going to put this out here now if I can actually get out the case before it actually lifts my case open. If you're ever going to get a watch that's actually any kind of, it's got a good name, it's nice and cheap, Vostok, just make sure it's a stainless steel case, because they do some that are coated, they're actually coated base metal, and they do kind of weigh down quite a bit, as in they start to show through. The other good thing with them is they're very moddable. So with this one, I haven't actually seen many people do this with the GMTs anyway, is I've got a lovely nice little kind of display case back on the back of there, as you can see. And because the way Vostok case backs are designed, they're not designed like a traditional case back. They've got a retainer ring and a separate case back that goes on them. You can get quite a wide window in there. And I think, to be honest, this is one of the better looking basic movements. It looks quite nice. Doesn't beat that fast though. I think I forgot what the beat rate is of this now. It's lower than, I think it's like 18,000 and something beats per hour. But it means Vostok give a 10-year service intervals on them. So this watch, technically, out of the box, because I bought this one new as well, I don't have to service this by the recommendation of the manufacturer for 10 years. That's Russian engineering for you. Good old, like I say, they build stuff to last on the cheap, because like I say, but the engineering behind it's absolutely superb. I'm not going to bore you with the vid. If you want to be bored with the details of why that Vostok's good, look at me review, because like I say, it is actually very, very good. Yeah, I get that. I hate getting a watch in and it's broken. One of the watches I got in after waiting 6 months for it to be produced came in magnetized, drove me mentally insane, morally insane. But in all honesty, and this is the whole, in all the time I've actually been in the whole watch collection or collecting kind of thing, that's the first watch I've had that has a big issue, as in watch I've bought new. I've bought many spares and repairs watches, and ironically, a lot of them aren't that. It's like, if you ever, and it's a risk to take, right? If you want something that's cheap normally to get, or Citizen Eco Drive spares and repairs. And the reason I say that is because a lot of people put them in a drawer, forget about them for 6 months, and they run out of charge. But then they put them on a window, try to charge it up in a couple of days, and it doesn't work, and they put it up as spares and repairs. And I've had 3 times I've been on the, to be honest, all 3 times somebody's put up broken, does not work, try charging, been idle for 6 months in a drawer. But there's a little hack that not many people know. If you've got on a window and the crown's put in, the movement's still wanting to take energy up. So as it's taking energy in, the movement's still trying to take that energy straight back out. So what you do is you pull the crown out. So when you put the crown out, it kind of disables its hacking. So it disables the motor drive in it. And it lets the battery charge up without actually having to power something. And a lot of the times after 3 days of sitting on a bright windowsill, the watches will burst back into life. And I've, like I say, I've had, what was it, Nighthawk? It might be in a Skyhawk. It was the one with all the digital dials on it. I've had a Nighthawk, I've had a Skyhawk, I've got the, there's the other one, which is like the aviation type of thing, which might be a Skyhawk. Anyway, I've had all 3 of them, and all 3 I've got because they've said, don't work because they won't charge. And it's not the fact they won't charge, it's the fact of as soon as they're getting the charge in, they're trying to power themselves up. And they are quite clever, the Eco Drive movements. They've got a little bit of electronics in them, especially the ones with the LCDs. And it just means that they might go, but as soon as you switch back off and try to start again, the initial rush has drained the battery. It needs to recharge without anything else working. And that's my tip for the day. And literally, you can pick up some dirt cheap Eco Drives like that, but it is a risk you take because there could be something seriously wrong with it. But I've done it 3 times now, and 3 times I've got very, very lucky. And all those watches are flipped, as in fully working and brand new. Well, not brand new, they were nearly brand new. It's just literally, most of them people wore as an anniversary gift or something, had it on for a week, put it in the drawer and forgot. But like I say, one person's kind of thing is another one's kind of gold. But yeah, do keep a lookout for that. It will, I would dare say that is the most common spares or repairs that is not a spare or repair. It just needs a charge, and you need to know a best way of charging it. I cannot say that is true for all solar powered watches, however. So I don't know if somebody puts a Seiko spares or repairs up that is a solar, that will do the same. However, logically, it should. Anyway, some of them might need new capacitors. That's the only other thing. But capacitor changes in them are not that bad. It's not that much more involved than changing a battery. Sometimes there's a few little more things you have to get around because they're not meant to be changed as regular. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. Good tip. I had a Citizen Blue Angels Nighthawk. That is very nice. It was a great watch, but somebody wanted it more than me, so I sold it. To be honest, that's, if somebody wanted one of my watches more than I did, I would. They do, like I say, the Blue Angels one I like. They do a Red Arrows one. The British version's the Red Arrows, which is basically exactly the same as the Blue Angels. It's a stunt team air people. But instead of it being blue and yellow, which I think the Blue Angels one colour scheme was, ours is red and black, going off what the planes were. Oh, my hay fever's getting right up my nose, literally. But yes, so anyway, yeah, my weekend's been, like I say, it's been good, it's been eventful, but like I say, I was really hoping that watch was going to come in and it was going to be good. Like I say, in all honesty, I haven't seen anybody else put up any kind of bad comments about these Calvin Klein, so it might just be the fact I'm unlucky. However, the quality control, 1 at Calvin Klein and 2 at the AD, or I think it was, like I say, Joma Shop, whatever you pronounce it how you will. The first time I've shopped with them, maybe the last time I shopped with them, because like I say, I emailed them first thing this morning and still haven't got back to us. I know it's the weekend, so I can't really do it. I'll wait until Monday. But it's 150 quid, just less. Well, actually, 30 quid. It's 180 quid after taxes, and I can't put it on the wrist. And it was a review I was going to do and try and get up quite soon because I know a lot of people did it, but I'm going to lose out on that one, which is a shame. But hey ho. Let's have a look here. Celine Driver, worst thing about that Nighthawk is the radio controlled setting. It really worked. The only way it ever worked was left outside. Do you know what? Trying to get the signals on them, because you had to point the crown at a certain angle. My G-Shock's the same. I've got 2 radio controlled G-Shocks and recommenders. The only good thing with my placement is I've got very good signal with the European antenna. But the problem is, if you are in bad reception area, they are quite bad. And I have had somebody, one of my clients, actually sends his to me to get the signal. And then what I do is, once I get the signal, I'll disable it and put it in manual. And he literally has it on a rota every 6 months to send it back to us, which it sounds absurd, but it's his best timekeeping watch, and he uses that to set all of his rest of them. So, I think, shipping's around about $5 up to me. So to be honest, it's better than putting it into a jeweler's to do, but it is a bit of a faff to do it. Hey, what time is it? 10:20. Oh, God, I said I was going off quarter. Do you know what I'm going to do for another 5 minutes? But like I say, you've all been great. Like I say, I do like these live feeds, and they are they're quite entertaining for me, and I hope it's entertaining for yourselves. Because I just like I say, in each one of them, I like talking to like-minded people in the watch community and people who just like similar things. Because the majority of the watch people like me bikes, they like me cars, like everything like that, or me car talk. And that's the thing, you just find similar interests and you go off on tangents. It is absolutely spot on. And in this day and age, especially with what's going on, it's just nice to have a bit of light-hearted chat at the end of the day, just to wind down, have a bit of a laugh, have a beer, which, to be honest, this is the other thing, somebody actually criticises for having beer on live feeds. You can tell what I said to him. This was after he watched his, another tangent, he watched his after the live feed had happened. I don't think it was the last one. I'll give him his due for the last one, because I was well and truly off me nut. But that wasn't the beer's. Well, it was the beer's fault. It wasn't my fault. It was the beer. But it was the one before that. And he messages just saying, "I disagree with you drinking beer on live feeds." Well, I put it in the title. If you disagree with it, don't watch it, mate. But like I say, it's a healthy drink, It's the reason why we drink it as British people, is to get around cholera back in the blooming, was it? I forgot what times it was, but yeah, it was cleaning the dirty blooming water off the street, because the alcohol in it killed off all the bacteria. Hey, God, I'm starting to turn into a historian now, but hey ho. Well, like I say, it is just, and this is honest to God, it is nice even just talking to yourselves through the chat at the side of the window, because like I say, I can't hear yous, I can't see yous, but your presence is still there. And like I say, I hope I'm like, most of the time, I'm just here as the glue to keep, fill in the gaps in between the conversations you're having. That's what I'm here for, and that's what I want to do, and I kind of get quite a lot of enjoyment out of it. But I'm going to leave it on a note. I'm going to ask what's coming. To be honest, Celine Driver, I'm going to look into the Damascus. I am going to debate whether I can raise 1,200 quid, because I do seriously want one. I know fine well there's enough watches in my collection I don't wear to get it, and I would wear one of them quite nicely. I don't know how much it is. That's why I do my live streams now, something to do, and gives me ideas for it. Does. That's the thing. That's the other thing it does, because there's a few suggestions have come up which have then come into videos. Because like I say, I could do videos for myself, but that's not what people want to see. Like I say, it's people come up, like I say, the Chinese watches. I was absolutely scared of AliExpress. I just had this very weird thing about, Chinese, I'm going to lose me money and all that. But of AliExpress, it's absolutely amazing. The price of them and the watches are decent. Now, this is how far it's gone. I have bought a robot Hoover off AliExpress this week. The wife was looking at robot Hoovers for $1,000, which I was like, nah. She was the same. She's not like that. She was just going, why the hell would people spend money like that? And then I says, well, I can get one off AliExpress for like 180 quid at the same spec. And she was like, how does that work? It says, well, it's basically just, it's just not known brands, and they come straight from China. It says, no doubt you'll get the same one just with a brand on it, and it's, 5 times as much. So I've got that. I've just bought 2 new phones off it as well, because the contracts on our old phones were ending, and the phone people says, right, you can spend 300 quid plus a SIM only. And I was like, I'm not paying that. I'm paying £11.50 for me phone and me SIM for 2 years. And I wasn't going to pay 300 quid plus the SIM contract on top for a phone. So went on AliExpress, got the same spec phone, literally looked at it's actually better spec phone, 4 cameras, all this stuff. I'm not big into my phone, so I just thought that looks nice. I can take some nice photos. Great. 130 quid. So I went, right, two of them, case, there you go. And overall, I'm actually saving like 100, I'm saving quite a bit. And I'm only paying over the contract I have now with very basic phones, 20 quid a year more. It doesn't make sense. When all these people come up to us like, why are you using this? Why are you supporting the Chinese agenda and all that stuff? In all honesty, we all are. Like I say, how much stuff you turn the backs over and it's got made in China, in all honesty. Once upon a time, the majority of engineering and bits and bobs came from England and the English Empire. We're not that now, for good reason, obviously. But like I say, China is just spitting that much stuff out. The majority of stuff we've got now is Chinese. You cannot use that argument no more. You might as well just go direct to the supplier and get stuff for the cheap. And that means you've got more money to spend on Zelosses. Oh God, I'm gonna be pained after the end of this month. But yeah, like you say, the next just to get on with it, next live feed will be yet again 2 weeks' time, which I'll just get my calendar up and tell you when that one is. So the 23rd of May will be my next live feed. So that'll yet again Saturday at 9 o'clock. If you do want us to, like I say, I can either do 9 o'clock. I can sometimes do 8 o'clock. If 9 o'clock's okay with you for time zones and stuff, just say, because like I say, it's just it's 9 o'clock's better for me because everybody's in bed. I've got a bit of time to myself and then talk to you without being interrupted. 8 o'clock, I'm more busy with stuff, but I could do it. So whatever's with you, but I'm going to keep it at 9 o'clock and yet again do the same thing. And hopefully by then I've got another I'm trying to release around about a video every week, maybe 2 a week, but I'm not trying to force it. Because the thing is, if I put content out in one big bunch, it means I have less content later on, so I'm trying to stagger it out. Because like I say, at this moment in time, my channel is actually it's got quite a lot of views and subscribers over the last few weeks, which is kind of caught us off guard. But that's the way YouTube is. It's very unpredictable with what it does. You just need one person to share something and look at something, and then you go through the roof. But yeah, like I say, it's one of them things. But like I say, if any of you do have any suggestions of what you want to see, what you want us to talk about, even on the next live chat, just say, look, here's some questions I want to answer, just even basic ones like, how old are you? 28. I know I look a hell of a lot older because I've had a very hard paper round, but just general things like that, and I will get them down and I will answer them. Or if you want a video on a specific watch, or I've got a watch there that you want to see, just say, and I will spend the time and I will do a video on it. Like I say, just I feel sad when people come to us going, I want to see this watch and I don't have it, but I can't afford to get the watch in to actually pay it. But yeah, it's one of those things. So please just have a think, do it. Like I say, if you have liked this live stream, please like. I'm going to quickly scan down my right-hand side, see what other things are. Sling Driver. That's why I do my live streams. So, yeah, look, your live streams are great. So yeah, I am watching your live streams at this moment in time, but when you do them, I'm normally right in the middle of work, so I'm having to watch them offline. But you do some great live streams, Sling Driver. If you haven't subscribed to Sling Driver, he's got a great watch channel there. He does some great videos. He likes Zelosses as well as me. I think post beer flu, the West I have depends on China. Well, we all have. But that's just my opinion. Either time works for me, so I reckon my release is 2 a week. Like I say, I would like to get 2 a week. That's where I'm trying to get up to, and I'm getting up to there now. Like I say, but with a family and young family at that, it's quite hard to get the time to record the videos, because it normally takes us around about 2-3 hours to record a video. Because I try, and even though I do kind of match videos up, if you look at the watches, this is one thing. If you look at the watches, you'll normally see the time goes from in between 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night, because I try and record in one go, and then I kind of stop at every section and I mash them in. So if I do bugger up, I don't have to redo the whole take. I just have to do that section. But it means I have to get the time there to do it. I then do a bit of editing, because like I say, I do like me editing. So I do spend a bit of time there doing. Normally takes a day. It takes around about 3-4 hours to then render the edit, because I do a high render edit and then getting it up. So it does take us time, but it's worth it. I like doing it, and I like seeing people's replies to them. But yeah, So with that, 2 minutes before 10:30, I'm going to leave it there. But like I say, it's been a pleasure talking to you all, as always. Like I say, I'm going to see you all, Slain Driver Pete Stone. I'm just going to go through you, like I say, through you that you've messaged, like I say, Track Day, Addict UK, like I say, good on you for coming out. Obama's Bits and Bobs, Omar's Bits and Bobs, I should say. Like I say, it's been an absolute pleasure. If you have liked this video, please press that like button. Like I say, it does help the channel. If you've even come along and you haven't subscribed, please put that. Like I say, there's lots of content coming up in the future. And in this day and age, like I say, it's even more true. Stay safe, keep to what's been said, stay in your house. Buy watches if you can afford it, because it passes the time. I'm not a bad influence, but we're all watch addicts out there. Like I say, I'll be buying more parts for my motorbikes if it wasn't for this. I would be. However, it's going towards watches. It's just one of them things. But yes, stay safe, my pals. I shall see you in 2 weeks. If you haven't already questioned us on the actual video chats, like I say, and like I say, have a think. Do sit back and have a think what you want to see on my channel. Any questions that come up, have a list together for the next live stream and just literally whop it up there and I will answer them. Like I say, it can be as embarrassing as you want. I shouldn't say that, but hey ho. But like I say, do keep safe, my good sirs. And like I say, I'm always here if you want to chat. Keep safe. I shall see you soon. Thanks for joining me. And see you in 2 weeks' time, live yet again. Love yous and leave yous. End. There we go.